Before there was light, before there was sound, before even the notion of before could exist, there was nothing. Not emptiness, not blackness. Just the absence. No ticking clock. No ticking at all. No edges or centers, no distance or depth. A stillness so absolute that even silence would be too loud a word for it. In that voidless void, not even space dared to stretch. Not even time dared to move. And yet, within that infinite hush, something waited. Not a mind. Not a will. But something unnameable. The seed of everything. The first tension. A whisper not yet spoken. A pressure, soft as thought, building beyond the reach of reason. No observer, no eye to witness it, and still, it gathered. Slowly, quietly, as if the cosmos itself were drawing breath, not in haste, but in reverence. As if the universe were pausing, before a great exhale. This breath, this ancient, impossible inhale, was the last moment of true stillness that ever was. For in the next eternal blink, everything would change. But in this chapter before all chapters, what does it mean to exist without time? To be without place? These questions, even now, are impossible. Human language bends and breaks when pressed against that moment. Physics stammers. Mathematics spirals. And yet we always try, to imagine it. The nothing that came before everything. Scientists speak of singularities, of infinite density compressed into a point smaller than anything we know. But even that is metaphor. Because point suggests position. And position needs space. And space did not yet exist. So what was there? Was there something before the birth of the universe, or was that birth the first reality? Perhaps we are asking the wrong question. Perhaps the universe was not born into anything, but that nothingness itself transformed, becoming everything we now see. A metamorphosis beyond fire or form. A chrysalis cracking from the inside out, releasing not a creature, but creation itself. And if it was a transformation, then maybe that quiet before the first expansion was not absence, but potential. Pure, distilled potential. The kind that hums with hidden power, not unlike the pregnant pause in an orchestra just before the first note rises. The kind that needs no audience to be grand. In that timeless instant, before particles or laws or even chaos, the very fabric of reality shivered, or so the story goes. No explosion. No blast. Just a sudden flowering. A blooming time. A blossoming of space, a pulse that unraveled into everything we now know and all that we never will. This was not the Big Bang of textbooks and cold equations. It was the birth of possibility itself. The moment when potential collapsed into being. Energy surged, not through something but as something. It did not spread into space, it became space. It did not light up the darkness, it created the contrast that would let light and shadow exist. Some say it happened 8 billion years ago. A number meant to comfort us, to measure the immeasurable. But time, in those earliest moments, had no meaning we could grasp. A trillion trillionths of a second would pass before time would even be something you could count. And yet, within those immeasurable instants, the universe took its first breath outward. Everything that would ever be, every galaxy, every atom, every star and whisper, was born in that one impossible moment. Not arranged but entangled. Not designed but destined. And so, the breath was released. Not in violence but in grandeur. A great unfolding, faster than light, faster than thought. A cosmic swelling, not outward into something, but inward into itself. The universe didn't enter existence. It became an existence. From that breath, time stretched like golden thread. Space expanded like a dream remembered. And the silence that had once ruled was gone. In its place, a newborn hum, not heard but felt, a vibration that would someday become gravity, magnetism, heat, life. That primordial tone still lingers today, hidden beneath the noise of galaxies. We call it the cosmic background. But it is more than that. It is the echo of a breath so ancient, it predates memory itself. And yet, something remains of the stillness. In the spaces between stars. in the dark matter that shapes what we cannot see, in the haunting symmetry of the laws that guide all motion. The breath before time was not forgotten. It became the rhythm, the background tempo of creation, a lullaby the universe hums as it expands. Even now, billions of years later, every photon of light, every heartbeat, every falling leaf, still dances to the tempo of that first breath. And as space continues to stretch, as galaxies drift like sleeping embers through the cosmic sea, we look back, not to see what happened, but to feel it. To remember, somehow, a moment we were never there to witness. The moment when everything began, not with chaos, but with calm. From that calm, the universe would learn to burn, to shape, to remember. But first, it had to open its eyes. And in the next instant, it did. In the stillness after that breath, something stirred. There was no sound, no roar to mark the beginning, only a silent rush, a whisper of light blooming into being. Not an explosion, not a bang, but a smooth and graceful unfolding, as if the universe were exhaling its first thought. That first exhale wasn't loud. It was wide. A slow, ceaseless expansion, delicate and vast, unfurling space like silk across a void that had never known dimension. Within moments that had no minutes, space stretched outward in every direction, not into something, but becoming something. Time ticked its very first seconds, though there was no clock, no rhythm, no eye to measure them. Still, they passed, silently, gently, each one shaping the newborn universe in ways too subtle for even eternity to fully comprehend. In that ancient dawn, matter did not yet exist as we know it. There were no atoms, no stars, no planets. Only a glowing soup of potential, pure energy, dense and hot, filling every grain of spacetime. And yet, even in that chaos, there was elegance. Energy cooled, and from the cooling, patterns emerged. Forces, the silent laws of nature, began to split and specialize. Gravity, weak and patient. Electromagnetism, swift and nimble. Strong and weak nuclear forces, carving the pathways that would someday shape stars and bones. It is said that within a sliver of the first second, the entire universe grew from smaller than a seed to larger than galaxies. This was cosmic inflation, not violent, but graceful. An awakening, not a detonation. As if space itself remembered what it wanted to be, and began stretching toward that memory. And with expansion came clarity. As energy slowed its frantic dance, particles began to appear. Not all at once, but in pairs, matter and antimatter, twins born from the same spark, destined to annihilate one another in flashes of light. But for reasons we still do not understand, matter won. Not by much, just a tiny imbalance, a whisper of preference, but enough. Enough to seed all the galaxies, stars, and futures that would follow. We exist because of that asymmetry. Because the universe, for some unknowable reason, allowed something to remain. As seconds turned to minutes, the cosmos continued to cool, and the first building blocks of matter began to settle into form. Protons, neutrons, electrons, the tiny grains of existence. Still no atoms, still no structure, but the scaffolding was there. Floating in a sea of radiation, glowing with the heat of its own birth. And then, a pause. For hundreds of thousands of years, the universe remained hot and bright, a fog of charged particles and trapped light. It was a time of waiting for coolness. For patience. For atoms to form. Hydrogen came first, simple and abundant, followed by helium. These elements would become the ink with which the stars would write their stories. But before the stars, there was the light. Roughly 380,000 years after that first breath, the fog cleared. Light, which had been bouncing endlessly from particle to particle, was suddenly free to travel. It stretched out across space, unbound, radiant. This was the first true light of the cosmos, not created but liberated. And it still echoes now, faint and cool, bathing the universe in a soft microwave glow. We call it the cosmic background. But it is more than that. It is the memory of awakening. If one could listen to it, not with ears, but with something deeper, they would hear the echoes of the first story ever told. A story without words, only movement, only emergence. From that moment forward, the universe was no longer just a field of potential. It was a stage, a canvas, a dream beginning to take shape. From these beginnings, quiet, slow, unseen, all else would rise. Galaxies, worlds, eyes to look back and wonder. But at this point in the story, there was only the gentle hum of time beginning its journey, and the first warmth of space stretching its limbs. It was a dawn like no other, not the rising of a sun, but the birth of light itself. The universe did not awake in haste. It awoke in grace. And as its eyes began to open, flickering with the tiniest sparks of future stars, it began to remember its shape. To remember that it was not done. That its story was just beginning. That this unfolding had only begun. It is from here, in the gentle swirl of first elements and first light, that the stars would be born, not as fireballs, but as memory keepers, carrying within them the secrets of all that came before. And even now, billions of years later, their light still travels, still whispers, still reaches across the dark. The universe had awoken, and now it would begin to shine. In the soft darkness that followed the universe's first awakening, the cosmos was quiet once more. Not the silence of nothing, but the calm of waiting. A long, breathless pause before the next great becoming. The early universe, filled with simple gases drifting through expanding space, was like a newborn still gathering strength. Hydrogen and helium moved through the void in slow, graceful currents, shaped by gravity's patient pull. There was no sound, but motion whispered. There was no form, but motion began to sculpt. Over time, matter drifted together, not in chaos, but in gentle congregation. Clouds grew dense. Gravity tugged inward. Heat gathered in their hearts. And then across the quiet dark, a single light bloomed. Then another. And another. The first stars, kindled not with thunder, but with firelight, flickered to life like distant lanterns on a black sea. Each one a fusion-born miracle, a small sun of radiant memory. These were the universe's first storytellers. Born from the simplest elements, they lived with fierce intensity. Short lives, brilliant and wild, blazing through the void with a brightness that had never been seen. Their light stretched outward, crossing the new cosmos, carving shadows where once there were none. For the first time, the darkness had texture, not emptiness, but contrast. And in that contrast, the universe began to see itself. These early stars were giants, some hundreds of times more massive than any the universe holds today. They lived fast, burning hot and bright, their cores forging the heavier elements that would someday build planets, oceans, blood. When they died in beauty, collapsing in on themselves, then exploding in vast supernovae, scattering their alchemy across space like seeds. Calcium, iron, carbon, the materials of life, cast into the void by ancient stellar hearts. We are made of those echoes. We are born from those endings. But long before life, long before memory had a voice, light began to remember for us. Each ray of starlight is a message. Not written in words, but in wavelengths, a letter written in the language of time. The stars do not forget. Their light moves ever forward, across billions of years and incomprehensible distances, carrying with it the imprint of the moment it was born. When we look into the night sky, we do not see the stars as they are. We see them as they were years, centuries, even eons ago. The farther we look, the further back we see. Some of the starlight reaching us tonight left its source before the earth was formed. Some left before the sun had even gathered its first breath of hydrogen. A few ancient photons began their journey when the universe itself was still a child. These are time travelers, gliding through the vast corridors of space, untouched by age, unchanged by journey, and as they reach us, flickering against our atmosphere, captured by telescopes, or simply observed with the naked eye, they remind us that the past is not lost. It glows. The stars do not speak, but they remember. Their colors, their brightness, the way they shimmer, all tell of their age, their temperature, their distance. We decipher them like archaeologists of the sky, uncovering the ancient code of light. Some stars pulse in rhythms, more regular than any clock. Others spin wildly, flaring and fading. Some collapse into dense silence, while others explode in magnificent farewells. But each one, in its own way, is a memory in motion. A chapter in the book of the cosmos that is still being written. There's comfort in knowing that light doesn't die. It travels. Even long after its source has burned away, its message continues, a cosmic echo, a whisper that endures. Perhaps that's why we look up at night. Not just to wonder, but to remember. Not just to see, but to feel the deep lineage of all things. We are connected to those lights in ways we barely understand. Their atoms are in our bones. Their deaths made our lives possible. Their light illuminates not just the sky, but our story. And still they shine. Still they remember. Across the expanding dark, new stars continue to be born, rising from the cooled debris of ancient deaths. They are younger, smaller, steadier, like our sun, calm and enduring. Around them, planets take shape. Some barren, some beautiful, some perhaps teeming with possibilities. These new stars inherit the legacy of the old ones, burning with elements forged in the furnaces of their ancestors. The memory passes on, through light, through matter, through time itself. And as we build instruments to see deeper, farther, clearer, we reach into the past with each glance. With every image of a distant star, we are witnessing an ancient moment. A moment still glowing, still traveling, still arriving. From the first stars to the latest sparks in distant galaxies, light continues its endless journey. It bends around gravity. It stretches with the expansion of space. It carries stories from places we may never reach, and times we will never live. But still we listen. Because in the darkness between galaxies, in the soft hum of the cosmos, the stars are whispering. They are remembering everything. And now, as we follow their light into the depths of space, we begin to wonder what else waits beyond. In the silent fabric of gravity, in the unseen scaffolding of the cosmos that I am the silent theater of the cosmos, there is a force that shapes all things, yet makes no sound. It leaves no visible trace, no glow, no mark, and yet nothing escapes its reach. It does not push or strike. It does not command. It whispers. Gently. Relentlessly. And the universe listens. This is gravity, the quiet architect of the stars, the invisible hand that sculpts galaxies and bends time itself. Long before there were planets or moons, before galaxies curled like smoke in the sky, gravity was already at work, silent, patient, and absolute. As particles formed from cooling energy, gravity began to gather them. Not in haste, but in harmony. Dust and gas, atoms and photons, drifting freely through new space, slowly began to turn toward one another. They weren't pulled so much as persuaded, as if space itself was leaning inward, inviting everything to fall toward everything else. Where mass gathers, gravity deepens. The more that collects, the more it draws. This is not a force that acts from afar, but a shaping of space itself. According to Einstein's vision, gravity is not a tug-of-war between objects. It is the bending of the stage on which they move. Mass curves the fabric of space and time, not metaphorically, but literally. Place a planet in the void, and the space around it sinks. Time slows near its surface. Light bends along its curve. What we call falling is simply following those curves, a path of least resistance in a universe that prefers elegance to effort. The stars are not scattered randomly. They are organized by gravity's quiet hand. It gathers them into spirals and spheres, into swirling galaxies and vast clouds of clustered light. It binds solar systems together, setting planets into motion with perfect rhythms that hold for billions of years. Earth does not cling to the sun. It dances with it, balanced on the tightrope gravity stretches through space. And beyond the visible, gravity continues its design. In the vast distances between galaxies, it draws entire clusters toward one another, slow-motion collisions unfolding over eons. Gravity sculpts the web of the cosmos, a hidden structure spanning light years, invisible but undeniable. Through it, matter flows like water through unseen valleys, tracing a pattern so immense we can barely comprehend its shape. The universe, it seems, has a skeleton, and gravity is its bone. But gravity does not only shape where things are. It sculpts when things are, too. The presence of mass slows time. This is not theory, it is fact. On Earth, your head ages slightly faster than your feet. A clock placed on a mountain ticks more quickly than one at sea level. In deep space, near massive stars or collapsed remnants, time itself stretches and folds, drawn out like light through glass. Where gravity deepens, time softens. It is not uniform. It is woven. Imagine, then, what gravity means across the scale of the universe. Where galaxies swirl in clusters, where black holes collapse light and time into silence, gravity is not simply shaping motion. It is shaping experience. It decides how fast a moment passes, how far a photon can go, how long a star will live. It does not command. It influences. And over great spans of time, influence becomes destiny. Even light, the fastest thing we know, cannot ignore it. As it passes massive objects, it bends. Not because it is slowed or stopped, but because space itself is curved, and light follows space. This bending reveals the truth. Gravity is not force. It is form. The form of reality. The shape beneath all shapes. And though it is everywhere, it remains quiet. No noise. No flicker. Only presence. A presence so constant that we forget it is there. We stand upon it. We sleep within its embrace. Our hearts beat to rhythms gravity makes possible, blood flowing downward, lungs expanding under pressure, bones growing strong against its pull. Life, in every form we know, has been shaped by this unseen artist. And just as it binds stars and planets, gravity binds us to wonder. It pulls our thoughts outward into the night sky. It reminds us that everything, from the dance of galaxies to the falling of a leaf, is part of the same design. Now, as we look deeper into the universe, we follow the curves gravity has drawn for us. We map how it bends light from galaxies too far to see. We watch stars circle invisible centers, hinting at things we do not yet understand. And in the darkness where gravity folds space most tightly, something even stranger waits. For some curves become steep enough that not even light can climb them. These are not holes, but horizons. Edges of knowing. The mouths of the quietest giants in the cosmos, black holes. And it is toward these deep shadows that the universe now leads us. Between the stars, there is darkness. Not the gentle shadow cast by a setting sun, not the hush between moonrise and dawn, but a vast, ancient absence. A darkness not empty, but filled with mystery. The space between galaxies stretches like an ocean at midnight, and in that endless deep, something stirs. Something that does not glow or burn or speak, but shapes everything silently. The universe, as we see it, is a luminous painting. Galaxies spiral, stars pulse, planets reflect and shimmer. But all this light, every flame we have ever observed, is only a fraction of the whole. Most of the cosmos is invisible, not because it is far or faint, but because it does not shine. It does not interact with light the way matter does. And yet it is there. It must be there. For if it were not, the stars would not spin the way they do. Galaxies would fall apart. The universe itself would not hold its shape. Astronomers, peering into the deep past through telescopes, have watched galaxies move in ways that defy explanation. Stars orbiting at the edges of galaxies do not slow, as expected. They race ahead, as if pulled by a gravity that comes from nothing visible. And in clusters of galaxies, the mass we can see accounts for only a small part of the gravitational pull that binds them together. The rest, the missing mass, is something else. Something unseen. Something dark. We call it dark matter. But the name reveals little. It is not darkness in the way we understand it. It is not shadow. It is not absence. It is substance without glow, mass without light. It does not absorb or reflect or emit. It passes through us, through planets, through stars without a trace. But it bends space. It shapes gravity. It is the invisible scaffolding on which the luminous universe is hung. Some believe dark matter could be made of exotic particles, born in the early fire of creation, quiet ever since. Others imagine it as something more fundamental, a property of space itself, or a hint that gravity may behave in ways we have yet to comprehend. We cannot touch it. We cannot see it. But we see its fingerprints, in the swirling of galaxies, in the bending of light around invisible masses, in the very structure of the universe. And so we know it must be there. But even dark matter is not the end of mystery. For as we map the universe's motion, we find something even stranger. The cosmos is expanding. That much is known. But not just expanding, accelerating. Every galaxy is moving away from every other, not with steady momentum, but with growing speed, as though being pushed by an invisible hand. The force behind this acceleration has no name that explains it, so we call it dark energy. Where dark matter holds things together, dark energy pushes them apart. They are opposites, not in conflict but in balance. One binds, the other scatters. Together they rule the cosmos. And together, they remain almost completely unknown. Dark energy may be a property of space itself, an energy that lives in the vacuum, growing stronger as space expands. Or perhaps it is a field, stretched across the universe like a skin, shifting subtly as the cosmos ages. It may be the whisper of other dimensions pressing against our own. Or it may be something we cannot yet imagine, a force not discovered, but invented by the universe itself. Whatever it is, it accounts for nearly 70% of everything. And like dark matter, it is invisible. Combined, these unseen forces make up most of the cosmos. The stars, the planets, the gas and dust, all the luminous things we can observe, make up less than 5%. We are built from the exception, floating in a sea of mystery. And yet, from this mystery comes form. Dark matter gathers galaxies like leaves on a pond, guiding them along filaments of invisible gravity. Dark energy stretches the fabric of space, painting the canvas on which time itself unfolds. They are not obstacles to knowing. They are the deep pulse of reality, reminders that the universe is not obligated to be visible in order to be real. Somewhere in the silence between galaxies, dark matter drifts, cold and quiet, shaping destinies without ever being seen. Somewhere in the vacuum between stars, dark energy expands. A tide without a moon, a wind without direction, accelerating the great outward breath of creation. We may never see them directly, but we see by them. We see through them. Their presence defines the dance of everything else. And as we come to understand how much of the universe is hidden, we are humbled. For every answer reveals a deeper question. For every light, a shadow. For every seen thing, an unseen twin. Still we search. Still we listen. And in that listening, we begin to imagine what else might be waiting in the dark. Not just matter, not just energy, but perhaps entire worlds beyond perception. Perhaps other forms of physics, or other kinds of minds. Or perhaps silence itself is part of the design, a reminder that not all mysteries are meant to be solved. Some are meant to be experienced. And so the darkness remains, not empty, but echoing. A canvas stretched wide. A space waiting to be understood. A signal not yet received. But even here, even now, something else stirs in the shadows. Something deeper than darkness, stranger than silence. A place where gravity itself collapses. Where time ceases to flow. Something waits. Time does not flow like a gentle stream. It carves, it wears, it forgets. It does not remember the bloom of stars, the cry of planets, the spark of minds. It simply moves forward, indifferent, smooth, and vast. In the language of the cosmos, time is not a clock's ticking hand, nor a calendar's quiet turning. It is space itself, unfolding, stretching, fading, changing. From the first breath of the universe, time began its long unraveling, not with purpose, but with presence. It had no edge, no beginning we could point to from within it. And yet, it was there as the silent twin of space. Together, they shaped the field on which all things would play. Time was never still. Even in the early hush of a newborn universe, it pressed outward, a ripple spreading through the dark. Everything that is, exists within this. Gentle erosion. Stars flare and cool. Planets circle and fall. Galaxies turn like forgotten leaves in a distant current. And we, too, are part of this current, built of atoms aged in ancient suns, living moments stitched from borrowed light. Human time feels short, even fragile, but it is carved from the same continuum as all things. We are made of time as much as matter. To the cosmos, a second is no different from a century. But from where we stand, in bodies that change, in lives that end, time feels like a river that runs through us and over us. It carries memories away like stones, smoothing them into silence. It takes everything, eventually. But in doing so, it makes room. Without time, nothing could change. Nothing could grow. The stars would remain unborn. The universe would remain still. In the erosion of what was, new things are allowed to be. Time moves differently depending on where you are and how fast you go. Near massive objects, it slows, not symbolically but truly. A clock near a black hole ticks more slowly than one far away. A traveler moving close to the speed of light will age more slowly than one standing still. Time is not absolute. It stretches and folds under the weight of gravity and motion. What we once imagined as a single thread is more like a fabric, woven, bent, sometimes torn. And yet, within this fluidity, we find rhythm. Seasons arrive and pass. Moons rise and fall. Trees grow rings. Lives mark beginnings and ends. Civilizations rise in glory, then fade into dust, their monuments crumbling under skies that no longer remember their names. Time does not grieve. It does not record. It simply continues. There is no single now. What is present to you may already be passed to someone else, across a vast enough distance. And so the cosmos holds countless versions of the present, overlapping, drifting, like leaves on different parts of the same stream. A supernova blooming in a galaxy far away may have ended long before Earth was born, and yet its light only now touches us. We see its death as present. But to the universe, it is long gone. In this way, time is not a measure of what is. It is a measure of what was. When we look into the night sky, we are seeing history. Ancient light, stretched across time, whispering of events that have already passed. Even the sun, so close and familiar, shows us itself 8 minutes in the past. The stars remember not because they try, but because their light is slow. And we, with eyes to see, become the last readers of messages sent across a forgetting sky. But time does not only move outward, it shapes within. Our thoughts, our stories, our lives, all grow under the slow push of time. We measure ourselves by it. Birthdays, anniversaries, goodbyes. Yet no clock can truly hold the feeling of a moment. No calendar can grasp the weight of a memory. Time passes, but what we feel within it sometimes lingers longer than it should or vanishes before we're ready. Perhaps that's what makes time beautiful. It refuses to stay still. It will not repeat. It cannot be owned. And in that endless motion, it gives meaning to everything else. Without time, we could not cherish. Without endings, we would not notice beginnings. Without loss, there could be no wonder. Civilizations have built monuments to mark its passing. Stones that cast shadows. Towers that trace stars. Machines that tick in perfect rhythm. But no monument can outlive time. Even the universe itself is aging, its stars dying, its galaxies drifting apart, its temperature falling towards silence. In trillions of years, even light will fade. Even matter may unravel. And time will remain. Cold. Still moving. With nothing left to move through. Unless something changes. Unless something waits at the end of time's long river, something we do not yet see. Some fold. Some echo. Some new beginning, hiding within the final erosion. But for now we drift. Not downstream, but through a dimension that we can feel but not touch. And with each moment, we are shaped. Our thoughts, our memories, our very atoms carry the rhythm of this cosmic tide. We live in time, but time also lives in us. And as we float through its quiet current, we cannot help but wonder, If time forgets all things, who remembers? If every star fades, who holds the light? Somewhere in the deep dark of the cosmos, where time bends and boundaries blur, there are places that do not simply follow the current. They reshape it. They twist it. And in those places, time does not forget. It disappears. One of those places is calling. Across the silent ocean of stars, there are worlds we will never touch. Planets that turn in darkness, circling suns we will never see with our own eyes. They spin like lonely islands in an endless sea, each with its own story, stories we may never read. Some are scorched in eternal daylight, their skies burned clean. Some are frozen beneath veils of glass-like clouds, locked in time. Others, perhaps, carry winds that sing through alien canyons, oceans that breathe beneath thick atmospheres, or forests beneath strange, pulsing suns. But they remain distant, wrapped in silence, unreachable, for now. These are the exoplanets, discovered not by sight, but by subtle changes in starlight. A dimming here, a wobble there, a clue in a pattern, a flicker in a curve. They are glimpsed through mathematics, imagined in whispers. Over 5,000 have been found, and still we search, not just for proof of life, but for proof that we are not alone in this vast, echoing expanse. Each planet, even the quiet ones, is a monument to possibility. Some may have skies of neon or clouds of crystal. Some may rain metal, or host volcanoes larger than continents. Some may be made of diamond. Others may float, massive, gas-wrapped worlds so light they could drift in water. They orbit stars of all kinds, violent red dwarfs that flare with hunger, pale suns not unlike our own, or dead stars that shine only in memory. They are shaped by the gravity that holds them, the distance that warms or freezes them, the histories they carry in their stone and air. And yet, for all our searching, we cannot reach them. The nearest star system is over 4 light-years away. With our fastest probes, it would take tens of thousands of years to arrive. Light may cross those gulfs easily, but we do not. We are creatures of gravity, held to one world, dreaming of 1,000 more. These exoplanets spin in the dark, never knowing they've been seen, never feeling the gaze of human curiosity fall upon them like starlight. Still, we imagine. What if one of those distant spheres holds oceans warm with life? Not life as we know it, perhaps, not cells or organs, but something stranger. Something that listens with fields, or breathes color, or grows not toward the sun, but away from it. Life sculpted by alien physics, nurtured under skies of a different blue, or no sky at all. Perhaps minds have bloomed there, minds that wonder as we do, minds that look up and see a star we call the sun and wonder if someone lives there too. Or perhaps these worlds are empty, silent, waiting. Entire planets that have never known the weight of thought or the warmth of life. Deserts that stretch for thousands of kilometers, oceans that stir but never feel. No watchers. No builders. Just the slow, eternal cycling of wind and rock and gravity. A kind of beauty in the untouched. There is a loneliness in knowing we may never walk those shores. That we may never breathe their air, hear their storms, or see their constellations. And yet they turn quietly, endlessly, without us. Not needing to be seen to be real. Not needing to be known to exist. We reach out in radio signals, in equations and code, in dreams pressed into golden records launched into the dark. Hoping, not always to find, but to be found. To be understood. To be known even from a distance. Because the silence, for all its calm, carries weight. We are small, and the cosmos is vast. And though we are surrounded by possibilities, they remain just beyond our grasp. Still, the search continues. Not because we expect an answer soon, but because the act of looking shapes us. It reminds us that we are part of something larger, a momentary flicker in a story much longer than we can tell. These far-off worlds are not only questions waiting to be answered. They are mirrors, reflecting back our own longing, our own curiosity, our need to belong somewhere in the great silence. Perhaps one day, far from now, we will touch those worlds. Our machines may walk across alien dust. Our voices may echo in foreign skies. Or perhaps long after we are gone, the descendants of our minds, whether biological or digital, will sail among the stars, whispering stories of a blue world that once looked up and dreamed. But even if we never reach them, even if the distance remains untraveled, the worlds are still there. Turning, shining, waiting without waiting. They do not need us to give them meaning. They are beautiful simply because they exist. And in that thought, in the quiet comfort of that distance, there is peace. The cosmos is not empty. It is full of places we may never see, and yet, they are part of our story. As we sleep beneath our own familiar sky, we are surrounded by countless horizons. Each one a mystery. Each one a world that spins in the dark. But beyond those unreachable shores, there are other frontiers, stranger, deeper, closer to the limits of understanding. Places not of matter and planets, but of space-time itself. Where the known bends and the known ends, black holes are often imagined as monsters, cosmic beasts that swallow all light and matter without mercy, devouring everything that dares to come near. But this story, this quiet truth, is far different. Black holes are not gluttons of the universe. They are artists of silence, sculptors shaping the cosmic landscape in ways both profound and unseen. They do not hunger in chaos but move with a solemn purpose, bending the very fabric of space and swallowing the river of time itself. They are the architects of silence, crafting patterns in the darkness where light dares not wander. Born from the collapse of ancient stars, these dark giants are more than remnants. They are the deep heartbeats of galaxies, pulsing slowly, invisibly, yet with gravity so immense it warps everything around them. Their presence stretches space like a slow tide, curving it gently, like a hand pressing into soft fabric. This bending is not violence but a quiet shaping, space and time folding together in a cosmic embrace, a dance as old as the universe itself. Surrounding these voids, stars and gas swirl in silent spirals, caught in the gentle but unyielding grip of gravity's whisper. Matter does not scream as it falls. It sings in low tones, spiraling inward in glowing disks that shimmer like celestial rings of fire. This light, trapped in a delicate balance between falling in and spinning out, glows softly against the vast blackness. It is the music of creation and destruction intertwined, where endings give rise to beginnings. And time itself behaves differently near these architects. It slows, bends, even seems to pause as if caught in their grasp. Near the event horizon, the boundary beyond which nothing returns, seconds stretch into centuries. Time loses meaning, becoming fluid and strange. What seems an instant to a distant observer might be an eternity close by. In this way, black holes become doorways not just to other places, but to other perceptions of existence. Yet, for all their mystery, black holes do not act alone. They shape galaxies as a gardener tends a garden, pruning, pulling, shaping the flow of stars and dust across billions of years. Their gravity gathers clouds of gas that birth new stars. Their energy jets sculpt cosmic winds that push and pull at galactic edges. They maintain balance, subtle and steady, in a universe that might otherwise spin into chaos. They are not the monsters of legend but the quiet keepers of cosmic order. In their silent work, they preserve the harmony of space, giving structure to what would be formless. Their influence stretches far beyond the event horizon, echoing through the vast emptiness. They remind us that even in darkness, there is design, intention, and grace. Imagine drifting near one of these giants, far from the danger of falling in. The sky itself would ripple and warp. Stars would stretch like reflections in rippling water. Light would curve, tracing paths no straight line could follow. The silence would be profound, a deep, all-encompassing stillness that fills the soul with awe and peace. Here, at the edge of the unknown, the universe reveals a softer side, majestic, mysterious, but not frightening. Black holes are paradoxes, places where physics breaks down and yet the universe finds new ways to speak. They are laboratories of extremes, where the known laws are tested, bent, and perhaps rewritten. They invite us to imagine realities beyond our reach, where time and space are fluid, where endings blur into beginnings, and where silence speaks louder than any sound. These cosmic architects remind us of our own place in the vast design. We are made of star dust shaped in the quiet crucibles of ancient suns, and now, drifting in the shadow of these dark titans. Their presence humbles us, yet it also inspires. For in the quiet depths of their being, they hold secrets we have only just begun to glimpse, a deeper understanding of gravity, time, and the very nature of existence. And as we reflect on these silent giants, we realize that their story is also ours. We too shape and are shaped by forces beyond our sight, our histories bending and folding like space-time, our lives fleeting yet meaningful. The universe is vast, filled with mysteries that whisper rather than shout, and in that whisper, we find the beauty of existence. So, as the stars wheel overhead, and the black holes work their silent artistry far beyond our gaze, we are left with wonder. The universe does not demand our understanding to be magnificent. It simply is quiet, endless, and full of mysteries waiting to be felt, even if never fully known. The architects of silence continue their work, weaving the unseen threads that hold the cosmos together. And in their shadow, we sleep, dream, and ponder the vastness that cradles us all. Each flicker of light that reaches us from the depths of space is more than a simple beam. It is a messenger carrying the echoes of ancient times. These photons, tiny particles of light, are time capsules, journeying across unfathomable distances, carrying with them stories from epochs long vanished. When we gaze upward into the night sky, we do not just see stars or galaxies. We peer into a vast cosmic mirror, reflecting the past in soft, shimmering hues. The light that bathes our eyes is a remembrance, a quiet archive of moments once alive, now forever frozen in time. As we look deeper and deeper into the cosmos, our eyes are led backward in time. Each step further away is a step into history. Nearby stars offer light from a few years past, like a recent memory. Distant galaxies reveal themselves as they were millions, billions of years ago, their light still traveling, slow and patient, before reaching us. It is a slow and gentle unveiling, a gradual peeling away of layers, until the stars themselves fade and all that remains is the faint glow of the universe's earliest dawn. This glow is the afterimage of creation, the soft whisper of the Big Bang's fiery birth. It is not a blaze, but a gentle pulse, the universe's earliest light stretching across the cosmos, cooling and dimming over time. In this ancient illumination, we see the universe's infancy, a cosmic lullaby sung in waves of energy and particles that have traveled nearly 14 billion years to reach us. It is as if the universe has left us a letter, written in photons, urging us to remember where it all began. Astronomy becomes an act of remembering. Each telescope, each sensor, is a window into a vast, collective memory. As we piece together these light fragments, we reconstruct stories of cosmic birth, growth, and transformation. Galaxies collide and merge, stars ignite and fade, nebulae bloom in clouds of gas, all recorded in the soft light that slowly arrives, telling tales not in words but in glowing whispers. The cosmos does not forget. It holds its history in every beam that slips through the darkness. This ancient light reminds us that seeing is not just about the present moment. It is about connection across time and space. Our eyes become bridges, linking us to moments before human thought, before the earth formed, before life itself. Each glance skyward is an invitation to remember the vastness of time we inhabit, to feel ourselves as part of a continuous, unfolding story, a story written in light and shadow, memory and silence. The universe, in this sense, is a vast memory bank, holding secrets older than any living thing. Through the act of seeing, we partake in an ancient dialogue, reaching across epochs to touch the quiet pulse of creation. And though we may never hold these moments physically, their light washes over us gently, a soothing balm that connects past and present in an unbroken chain. So, as we lie beneath the stars, drifting into sleep, the cosmos whispers softly to our minds, reminding us that to look outward is also to look inward. To see is to remember, and to remember is to be part of something far greater than ourselves. The soft glow that fills the night sky is a tender reflection of time's endless journey, a silent promise that even in darkness, there is light, memory, and the eternal echo of beginnings. The universe, in all its vastness, seems to whisper a secret pattern, one that repeats itself across scales both immense and minute, weaving a quiet, endless dance of shapes and rhythms. From the grand spirals of distant galaxies to the delicate curves of a seashell resting on a quiet shore, the cosmos folds its ideas again and again, like a dream that never ends. This repetition, this fractal dance, is more than coincidence. It is as if the universe is dreaming, folding and unfolding, shaping itself with patterns both familiar and mysterious, hinting at an unseen hand of design woven into the fabric of existence. Fractals are shapes that repeat their form in endless layers, patterns within patterns, each echoing the whole. In the vast cosmic web, we see this reflected in the filaments of galaxies stretching across space, sprawling like veins in an infinite body. Closer to home, the veins in leaves, the spirals of hurricanes, even the delicate arrangement of neurons in a brain, all echo these fractal patterns. It is a cosmic language, simple yet infinitely complex, that the universe seems to speak without words. This dance of symmetry and repetition challenges our ideas of randomness. What appears as chaos may hold deep order beneath the surface. The universe, in its apparent wildness, may be folding itself with quiet intention. Perhaps the randomness we perceive is only a surface veil, hiding a deeper geometry, a harmony too vast for us to fully grasp, yet present in every corner of reality. It is a beautiful illusion, a cosmic choreography where chaos and order meet in a gentle embrace. Consider the spiral galaxies, those majestic whirlpools of stars, gas, and dust, turning slowly through the cosmos. Their shapes mirror the spirals found in hurricanes and the nautilus shell, forms shaped by forces both natural and universal. These spirals are not accidents but echoes of the same fundamental processes at work, where gravity, motion, and energy fold into elegant, repeating designs that in their turns and twists. The universe reflects its own nature, complex, yet patterned, infinite, yet coherent. This fractal nature extends even to the microscopic. The branching of lightning, the formation of snowflakes, the intricate folds of proteins inside our cells, all carry the imprint of this cosmic dreaming. It is as if nature, from the smallest to the largest scales, follows a hidden script, one written not in words but in shapes and rhythms that repeat like a song hummed softly across the ages. The idea that the universe dreams in fractals invites us to see existence as a continuous act of creation and recreation. Each fold is a new possibility, each repetition a new variation on a cosmic theme. In this light, the cosmos is alive with quiet creativity, endlessly exploring the bounds of form and function, weaving patterns that stretch beyond our comprehension but still touch our souls. And within this grand dream, we find ourselves, made of the same elements, shaped by the same forces, and part of the same unfolding story. Our own bodies, our thoughts, our lives are echoes of these cosmic patterns, reflections of the fractal dance that reaches from the stars to the smallest cells. This connection is a gentle reminder that we are not separate from the universe but an integral part of its endless dreaming. As the universe dreams, folding and unfolding, it invites us to join in its quiet wonder, to listen not just with our ears, but with our hearts, to the patterns that connect all things. In these fractals, we glimpse a cosmic harmony that balances mystery and meaning, chaos and order, light and shadow. It is a symphony without end, played softly in the silence of space and time. So, as we drift deeper into the night, surrounded by the quiet echoes of galaxies and seashells alike, we may find peace in this fractal dreaming. The universe, vast and mysterious, offers its patterns as a lullaby, a gentle song to soothe the mind and open the heart. In this unfolding dance, we find a reflection of ourselves, a reminder that we too are part of the endless folding and unfolding of existence. Amid the vastness of the cosmos, a quiet species stirs on a pale blue, suspended in the infinite night. This tiny world, cradled by a star of modest light, is home to life that has learned to listen, to peer beyond its skies and seek connection with the endless dark. We are the listeners, the curious children of the universe, who raise delicate antennas and point silent instruments toward the stars, hoping to catch a whisper, a signal, a sign that we are not alone. In the immensity of space and time, our presence may seem small, fleeting as a single breath in the endless ocean of existence. Yet, it is within this smallness that our wonder grows, expanding like a gentle wave across the cosmos. The curiosity that drives us is both humble and profound, to understand the universe that birthed us, and to find, perhaps, others who share in this grand journey. Our search is not just for answers, but for belonging, an echo in the dark, a reply to our quiet question. We are connected to the stars in ways both ancient and new. From the elements in our bodies, forged in the hearts of long-dead stars, to the rhythms of our days and nights, shaped by the dance of planets and moons, we are woven into the fabric of the cosmos. This connection fills us with a gentle awe, a reminder that though we are small, we carry within us the legacy of countless cosmic moments, spanning billions of years. In listening to the universe, we listen to ourselves. Our antennas reach out with patience, sending pulses and listening for the faintest returns. Each signal we seek may carry the story of another world, another mind reaching back through the silence. And even in the absence of answers, the act of listening itself becomes a meditation, a quiet communion with the vast unknown. It is a slow, hopeful rhythm, a soft heartbeat in the stillness of space. In this search, we are both explorers and dreamers. We imagine what might lie beyond, civilizations whose minds span stars, or perhaps simple life forms just awakening to their own questions. We do not yet know the language of the cosmos, but our desire to understand is a universal song, a melody shared by all who wonder about their place in the dark. This hope, gentle and persistent, lights our way. And so, beneath the velvet sky, we remain patient listeners. We embrace our smallness, not as a limitation, but as a precious thread in the endless tapestry of existence. For in listening, we become part of the cosmic story, a story that began long before us and will continue long after. Our questions ripple outward, joining the timeless conversation between light and shadow, silence and sound. As the universe unfolds its mysteries, we are reminded that to listen is also to be open, to the unknown, to the beautiful, and to the possibility that we are never truly alone. The quiet reaches of space hold secrets still waiting to be heard, and we, in our stillness, wait with them. Our antennas poised, our hearts steady, we listen to the stars, and in that listening, we find a calm hope that carries us forward. In the deep, unfolding story of the cosmos, there will come a time when the stars, those radiant lanterns in the night, slowly begin to dim. Their brilliant fires, which have danced for billions of years, will wane and flicker until only faint echoes remain. The universe, vast and ancient, moves toward a quiet that is deeper than any we know, a silence so complete that even time itself seems to pause, folded into endless stillness. This final silence is not an ending in despair but a gentle closing of a cosmic breath, a rest after a long and wondrous journey. Yet what lingers in this profound stillness is not emptiness alone. It is a record, a memory etched softly into the fabric of existence. The questions we asked, the dreams we dared to dream, the search for meaning and connection, these are the faint but enduring marks we leave behind. Like whispers carried on a gentle breeze, they ripple through the quiet dark, a legacy woven from curiosity and wonder. The universe may sleep, but within that sleep, the imprint of consciousness remains, a testament to life's brief and shining spark amid infinite night. There is something quietly hopeful in this thought. Even as galaxies dissolve and time slows toward its slow fade, the essence of our existence, our longing, our stories, our gaze lifted upward, holds a special place. It is a fragile, precious thread in the vast tapestry, a reminder that to dream is itself a kind of immortality. Perhaps in the deep future, long after the final stars have gone cold, these dreams will linger, waiting to be found by something yet unknown. Philosophers and scientists alike have pondered this cosmic legacy. Is the universe designed to be remembered? Is there a purpose to this unfolding drama of matter and energy, light and shadow? Or is it simply a grand, beautiful accident, a momentary spark in an eternal night? These questions hover softly in the silence, inviting us not to answers, but to reflection. To accept the mystery is to find peace within it, to sit quietly with the unknown and appreciate the sheer wonder of existence itself. As we look toward that final silence, we are reminded of our place, a small but luminous note in the endless symphony. Our lives, brief as they may be, are the universe's way of knowing itself. Through us, the cosmos dreams and asks, what lies beyond? It is a question without end, a gentle echo that carries us forward, even as the stars grow dim. And so, beneath the vastness of the darkening sky, there is a calm, a quiet invitation to listen deeply, to the fading light, to the stillness between heartbeats, and to the whisper of dreams yet unspoken. What do you think lies beyond the final silence? What dreams might the universe still have left to whisper? In that question, the story continues, quietly, endlessly, a cosmic lullaby inviting all who listen to rest and wonder beneath the eternal stars.